What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today is October the 31st. Happy Halloween, everyone. I'm going to give you a quick pre-market update over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, PCE is coming out roughly 30 minutes from now. So that's going to be a big one. Last two data points have kind of sucked. So we did have JOLTS on Tuesday and GDP yesterday. Both weren't great. So luckily enough, the market's been having good, or companies been having good earnings, that the market's able to distract itself and focus on that rather than the true data points. But you saw kind of a broader market pullback during power hour yesterday. So there is some fear associated to PCE. So we'll just have to wait and see how that does play out. Aside from that, futures are down slightly. NASDAQ down 0.66, S&P down 0.57, and Dow is down 0.39. Fear and greed index is also pulling back, still under the greed category. So in theory, people's appetite for risk is on the table, but of course, it is diminishing. Starting off with SOFI, though, is down a whole 1 cent. So nothing really crazy to write home about, but no news, no SEC filings, nothing like that. So I think SOFI is still doing fairly well. The market saw SOFI's earnings for what it truly is, and I think it's justified where it is. If not a little bit higher, it should be, but I think SOFI is doing fairly good. Shorts, though, on the other hand, I might have to omit going over Ortex and all that stuff today because, yeah, Ortex is just a crappy website for the morning. But 17.3% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 180.99 million shares. So shorts have been somewhat lingering with SOFI. If anything, they've been getting in. Not really sure why. They like pain, punishment, or whatever else. Just over the last roughly a month and a half, they have lost about $800 million, $700 to $800 million. So kind of crazy stuff, but again, they still decide to get in, and you can tell that based on this right here. So yeah, I think they're just maybe hedging on larger macro data now to really pull SOFI down and just the broader market, or again, maybe they just like punishment. But one key point to watch for today is that 1147. It kind of bounced off of that yesterday, so that's going to be the next strong target / resistance. So that's the R1 right here. And I'm looking at the 1 week chart on a side note because it's it ran up so much so fast. So kind of just stay tuned for that. Moving on, SMCI. So this one, I'm sure a lot of people are aware of it, and in reality, it's interesting. A lot of people are speculating, but typically whenever an accounting firm kind of just up and leaves, that's not a good sign. 9 times out of 10, based on my experience, it's the company firing the accounting firm, and it's probably because the accounting firm doesn't want to participate in what the company's trying to get them to do. And so this is the other way around. So I think this is a lot sketchier than any scenario, and a lot of people now are correlating this with NVIDIA, with just AI as a bubble, with a lot of things, because obviously SMCI is the 3rd largest customer to NVIDIA. So of course, is there fraud happening? What's happening behind the scenes? It is somewhat heavily shorted, so 23.76% of the free float is being shorted, and clearly shorts have been betting on the fact that something big is going to be coming, because short interest in June was 7.9, and now it is where it is now at 23%. So shorts have been making some pretty good money off of them, but right now with it at $31.65, it is trading between these 2 points. It's S3 and this S2. 31.32 will be the kind of line in the sand, the support, and then 35.58 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. I don't see this S2 being touched at all. If anything, I think it might be this S3 and just react to the data points. Faraday is up 6.9% because of this news. So Faraday Future receives $30 million of previously committed financing. So it just shows that they did receive the last tranche of their $30 million that was announced. So I don't understand why this is up. I do cover this under this channel, so Trending Stocks, but in reality, I've turned very bearish. Every time it goes up, I think at the end of the day, the best way to make money on this company is to short it. But obviously I'm not a financial advisor. You do whatever floats your boat. But yeah, essentially based on what they state, that 30 million is going towards obviously deliveries for their FX brand. So everything that they're talking about hasn't come to fruition. They're talking on deliveries, nothing's come out. They're talking on the FX brand that is hypothetical for the tail end of 2025. This company's not doing anything, and they're somehow putting out news saying that they finished and received that 30 million convertible note. That convertible note is going to significantly dilute them to Kingdom Come. Well, that's what a lot of people seem to not realize. But needless to say, every time it's gone up and I've brought it up, I always say it's going to go down, and lo and behold, it does. So I think in reality, this is going to be another one of those scenarios where it will easily get hit once the market does open. But right now, with that $2.17, just trading between this S2 and S1, so 258 will be the next target / resistance, then $1.68 will be the strong support, and just generally looking right over here, you can kind of see that it looks like I had a high of around 228, so nothing crazy. But like I said, once the market does open, I think it's going to really pull back. DJT, this is one of those next level stuff, like crazy volatile. It is up 1.67%, but yesterday it went down 22.29. Even yesterday, just huge swings at a low of like 39, then it goes to like 44 or whatever. Crazy stuff. It is also heavily shorted, and I'm not going to waste time with Ortex anymore, but $41.65 right now. It is trading between this R1 and R2. So on a technical level, it has to get above this 42.16, but I think DJT has just morphed into a very big momentum play, and momentum plays, you have to take all this with a grain of salt. So it just goes up and down based on the capital getting in. Doesn't really, the kind of support and resistance points don't play that big of a influence when it is in this type of scenario that it is now, that it makes these big swings. It's just, it is what it is. But last stock I want to talk on, Palantir. It is going down 2.04%. They did put out news. It's not really anything to prompt today. I think it's just bigger companies unveiling their earnings and the correlation. Like I said, SMCI, I think it's causing a domino effect for a lot of people to really consider, is this a appropriate evaluation? Even companies unveiling their earnings, I think after hours yesterday, Meta wasn't the best. And even though they hit good earnings, it's just bad future guidance. So I think a lot of that is pulling Palantir down. They also received a $30 sell rating. I believe it was a sell from RBC. And so, yeah, essentially that's a lot lower than the $43 range. So once again, I think Palantir's always struggled with the Wall Street trying to determine what the fair evaluation is. Just right now, a lot of people are just waiting for Palantir's earnings, and that is coming out next week on November the 4th. So we'll just have to wait and see. One thing to note, though, I'll see if it works, is shorts. Shorts have actually been getting in a lot more to Palantir than what it was. So 3.97% of the free float is being shorted. So of course, Palantir isn't a squeeze play, but it's good to analyze what shorts are doing. So shorts have been really getting in. So shows a little bit more of a anticipated pullback. But right now with that $42.80, still trading between this R2 and R3, so still doing A-okay overall though, based on the technicals. It's been holding this R2, so $40.39 will be the next strong kind of support. And then $43.78 will be that next strong resistance / target. A lot of volatility with Palantir, so even though it's down 2.04% right now, all it takes is 5 minutes and then it's green. So anything is possible with Palantir. So let me know your thoughts. Do you own any of these stocks? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. 2 things, take advantage of this promo because it gives you 8 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so that's a kick-ass deal that you must take advantage of. And then over and above that, I did launch memberships. So if you like the channel and want to support the growth, you can definitely join as a member. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.